Hanukkah is mismoil. Why is it that all mitzvahs are about Yamin and the right, and when it comes to Ner Hanukkah, it's about the left? How come? Why is that so, that it's on the left? It seems to be not only mitzvahs, but even even everything that we do in our lives, except for certain exceptions, all has to be done with the right. While we're here, it's the left. So we said that the level of right has precedence and is better when you're talking about Seder Ishtalshlus. When you're talking about higher than Seder Ishtalshlus, we talk over there, the right is actually a very high level. It's Gvuras Atik Yoimin, which is a very positive thing. Now, some mitzvahs come down through Seder Ishtalshlus, so because they come down through Seder Ishtalshlus, so therefore we must give precedence to the right, or else it could be a negative thing. But when it comes to something that is not the level of the ordinary mitzvah, something beyond the ordinary mitzvahs, over there, it's going to be in a way that the right is not as high as the left. And therefore, in this case, we have the smilo. We have the milo of it being something that is even higher in Ner Chanukah. That's an expression of Gvuras, the Atik Yomin. So now we're going to go on and explain some more about this concept and about this idea. Ois Gimel, line 8, as we said. We can connect this with what's explained to our Morim of Torah Oir, also Shari Oir of the Middle Rebbe, Oir Torah the Samach Tzedek, Pirush Masha Kosev, and what it says in the Pasuk, Ki Atam Neiri Havaya, you are my candle Havaya, Havaya Agia Choshki, and Havaya will make shine and make light in my darkness. This pasuk, it says twice the name Havaya. Could have just said Ki ata neiri Havaya v'yagia or sheyagia choshki or something like that. Why does he have to repeat it twice? It's known what's explained in L'Kutei Torah on Parshas Chukas. Whenever the name Havaya is found twice, the pasuk echad in one pasuk, Hapirish, with the meaning behind it is Shavaya Harishon Hu Bezeir Ampin. The minor or the first Havaya is in the midos of Atzilus Zeir Ampin. Shagam boy, even in the spheres of Atzilus, in the midos of Atzilus, there's all the Yesh Bekol Arbois Shem Havaya. It has all the 4 letters of Yud Kei Vav Kei. Koilol Gamma Yud Shemoira Al B'chinas HaChachma, including also the letter Yud, which indicates the sphere of Chachma. V'gam Kutzei Sheyud, even the point on top of the Yud, like we know in the Ger Satshuvi explains, that's the level of Hashem's will. That's B'chinas Arich, the lower level of Keser, which is Arich. This is all levels that it's still part of Seder Ishtalshlus, that right takes precedence over the left. Vavaya Sheinu Ba'atik, the second Shem Havaya is in Atik. So because it's a higher level. And even in the level of Atik itself, in this higher level itself, the second Havaya says, what does this additional Vav come to teach us? This additional Vav indicates that it's the most highest level of Shem Havaya. Concerning this, it says, Havaya will illuminate and make shine my darkness. The revelation of Havaya, when you have an additional Vav and Havaya, it's beyond all boundaries, because you're saying it's additional. In other words, it's the Havaya in a most additional way, in the highest, most fashion possible. Concerning this level, it says, Havaya will illuminate my darkness. I'm sorry, I reread the line. Since it's beyond any type of boundary, that's why its capability to illuminate the darkness, until the actual darkness itself will shine. Like it says, the night will shine like day. Ve'inyan zeh kosher ma'mayla ner Chanukah shu Mesma'el legabi kol shara mitzvah shem miyamin. That is connected with the special advantage of ner Chanukah that's placed on the left over all the other mitzvahs that has to be done with the right and on the right. What is it? Because of the illumination of the darkness that we find unique to ner Chanukah. It says the Hine kol ha-mitzvahs and bidvarim toirim mutarim dafka. All mitzvahs are performed with things that are kosher and mutter. K'mayim Razal, like the Chazal said, leihuch shalom leches shamayim al toirim mutarim beficha. The only thing that's allowed or permitted or for any heavenly work and doing is only something that's kosher, something that you're permitted to eat. For example, an esrig, one may not make a bracha on an esrig that is arla. Seemingly, the prohibition of arla is just you're not allowed to eat from it, etc. What does it have to do with not doing a mitzvah? But it's considered something that's not kosher. And because it's not kosher, you cannot use it for the mitzvah of Dalad Minim on Sukkot. Top of the next page, page test. Can move it by Tanya Bagolach. It's brought down in Tanya. Peirik Lamed Zayin in the Haggadah. Sha'arla imishol shlipsat meis. That the arla is from shol shlipsat meis she'ein lam aliyah la'olam, that they never can be elevated. V'chein kol ha-mitzvah b'avera. So too every mitzvah that comes through an avera. So mitzvahs and darkness don't join together, don't fit together. Aval mitzvahs ner Chanukah pe'elis lamata mata b'yoser, but the mitzvah of ner Chanukah affects very, very low. Shari hadlokas ner Chanukah al Pesach beisim bachutz, because the kindling of the ner Chanukah is on the outside of his home. Dafka specifically, kedei lahoyer zachoyshach, so as to illuminate the darkness. Until we so much affect and transform the darkness that we cause that even the legs of the Tarmudoi cease. Tarmudoi, Chassidus explains, is oisis meredes kemevur b'Kabbalah v'Chassidus, like it's explained in Kabbalah and Chassidus. To Tarmudoi, though it's a name of a certain people, is the same letters like the word rebellion, rebellious one. So that there is the rebellious ones of Klippas that cease through the Chanukah light being kindled in the darkness. To nullify even the lowest level of the Klippa, even the foot of Klippa, we nullify through illuminating the darkness of placing the Chanukah candle on the outside. Especially through the avodah of the foot of Kedusha, which is the heels of Mashiach, the Matu Raglim Baraglim. It's brought on Kabbalah that the feet meet up with the feet of the end of Golus, the lowest time of Golus, meet up with the feet of Mashiach. But the idea behind this is the Kivin Shagod Lam Miles Ner Chanukah Makolam Mitzvahs Shem Shechas Megvura Datik Yomin, since the advantage of the Chanukah candle is greater than all the mitzvahs. Why is that so? Because it comes from the Gevura of Atik Yomin, like we mentioned, Kanisker Leil Siv Beis, like we learned earlier in Ois Beis. Therefore, it's in the capability of the Chanukah licht to illuminate the darkness. That's why it says Ve'havaya with the additional letter Vav, that it can illuminate my darkness. Now, at the beginning of the Maimer, we said a very interesting thing, that the Mesiras Nefesh of the Yidden, by the events of Chanukah that took place originally with the war against all those people that were Tmeim and Zaydim and so on, so that Mesiras Nefesh, that self-sacrifice that the Yidden had, that Tzemach Tzedek explains, reached all the way to the level of Gevura Da'atik Yomin, and because it reached so high, that is why the Ner Chanukah is placed on the left. So he says, in Ois Dalet, he concludes with this. This is done through the avoid in a way of self-sacrifice, like we mentioned before, in Ois Beis, like it was in the time of Hanukkah. Yidden were then in a low state, both materially and spiritually. Like it's understood from the fact that they made impure all the oils that were in the heichel. That this idea of making impure all the oils in the heichel, in the Beis Hamikdash, indicates also the Beis Hamikdash within each one of us was also made impure and touched by the Avonim. Through that negative situation that was taking place then, they were inspired and awakened in a state of Mesiras Nefesh, of self-sacrifice. And from this confines and narrowness, it came about that he answered me in the broadness of Yudke. And the broadness we're talking about, Merchav Atzmi, the essential broadness of Hashem. That's the V'Havaya that we showed, that shows that's on level of Bligvul with the additional letter Vav. Through this happens the idea that my darkness will be and becomes illuminated because it reached so high because of the Mesiras Nefesh. Top of the last page in the Maimer, Ois page Yud. This is also the reason why the candles of Hanukkah never cease. Like the Ramban writes in the explanation of the words of the Medrash, when Aaron felt upset that he didn't participate in the Karbonos of the Nesiim. It says, Rashi, I believe, also brings this down to Chumash, why at the end of Parshas Nosai, which we've been reading all the Karbonos of the Nesiim, what does it read at the end? We're going to read at in the last Kriya of Hanukkah, it goes right into Ba'alois Chasaneris. What's the connection between the dedication of the Nesiim, that they dedicated the Mizbeach, they dedicated the Mishkan through the Karbonos that they brought on the Mizbeach, with Aaron's lighting the Menorah Ba'aloischa. So it's explained that Aaron was upset. Aaron felt bad. Aaron felt that he was being sidelined over here. Give a look. Every single tribal leader, on behalf of their Shevet, was the one to participate in dedicating the Mishkan, dedicating the Mizbeach. And of all people, Aaron and his Shevet, that Aaron and his Shevet were really responsible for the entire running of the Beis Hamikdash. They were the ones that were going to bring the Karbonos on the Mizbeach. They were the ones that were in charge of their Shevet was in charge of carrying and erecting the Mishkan and doing all the avodas in the Mishkan. And here, Aaron was left out of the dedication of it so what sense does it make? And he felt that maybe this was because the Cheta Egel, whatever, he wasn't forgiven, whatever he thought, but he felt very bad. He felt left out. So Hashem told him, don't worry. He says, Kasher Chol Shadaitis Alan Shleishtatif B'Karbonos HaNesiim, when Aaron felt bad that he didn't participate in the Karbonos HaNesiim, Amlech HaShbaruch Hu L'Moshe, Hashem told Moshe, Leich Emer LaAaron, go tell Aaron, Chulu, etc., that what? He told him, these Karbonos that the Nesiim bring will eventually cease. But I swear that your candles, these will never cease. So the Ramban asked the obvious question, what do you mean? What are we talking about the Karbonos ceasing? When will the Karbonos cease? The Karbonos would cease when the Beis Hamikdash would be destroyed. The same thing, the menorah would not be kindled when the Beis Mikdash is destroyed. So what's it mean that your candles would never cease? So he says, let's see inside this question, the Medrash. He says, HaKarbonis, line 6, calls much Beis Mikdash kayam hem noigen. The Karbonis, as long as the Beis Mikdash are standing, we fulfill that mitzvah. They will forever shine towards the face of the menorah. So the Ramban questions, it's known that when the Beis Hamikdash is not standing and the Karbonis are going to cease because of the destruction, also the candles will also cease. So the Ramban explains, how do we understand this medrash, that your candles will never cease? What Hashem told Aaron, says, El Sharamzu L'Neiris Chanukis Chashmenoi Shinaheges Aflacher Churban Begolosenu. They hinted for the candles of Chanukah of the Chashmenoim, that this is going to take place even after the destruction in our exile. What does that mean? What does this have to do with our topic? This means to say, in the candles of Chanukah, there is the everlasting component of it, since it comes down from the level of the severity of Atik Yomin. Since it comes from a level that's beyond the chain order of descent, therefore it comes from a level that's beyond change. Therefore it's impossible for the Neiros Chanukah to ever cease. That's also the reason why the Chanukah candles are the number 8 that we light at some total or we light at the end. We're leading up and eventually we're lighting 8 candles. Also, the days of Chanukah are also 8 days. Why are they all the number of 8? Because that's a number that's connected higher than say the Ishtalshlus. As we know, the number 7 has to do with the normal cycle of creation, the 7 days of creation. There's so many things in creation, which is the number 7 days of the week, the 7 years of a Shemitah, and so on. 7 times 7. Anything beyond that is beyond the cycle. So 8 is totally beyond Seder Ishtalshlus, which means, this means, Shebe'inyan Azman Gufa, in time itself, Sharigam Shmoyne Yom Zman Mugbal, it's 8 days, so it's still time. But within time, you have invested and inserted in this a level that's beyond time. The footnote says that they're missing the end, the conclusion of this Maimer, what the Rebbe said. Okay, in the Dvar Malchus, this last week, where this is taken from,